Next topic. Niagara 4.14 U2 Download Guide. Tridium Software Access Fix Invalid Signature Error Solution. Struggling to download Niagara 4.14 U2 or facing invalid signature errors with Yubiki signed modules? JJ Boss and the 4 Chicas break it down like a lowrider tech pit crew. Key fixes covered: Niagara 4.14 U2 download issues, fix login problems and access Tridium Software Center. Invalid signature errors, solve EC versus RSA cert mismatches in 4.13 versus 4.14. Yubiki HSM and SSL.com certs, proper module signing for Niagara frameworks. Permission troubleshooting, fix get_environment_variables denials. Keywords for search: Niagara 4.14 U2 download, Tridium Software Center access, invalid signature error Yubiki, Niagara module signing, ECVS RSA certificates, get_environment_variables permission, Java security policy, Niagara 4.13 vs 4.14 compatibility, SSL.com certificates, Yubiki HSM Niagara. Pro tips: Tridium Partner access only, ensure your credentials are active via distributor. Match cert types, use RSA for 4.13, EC works in 4.14 plus. Check META-INF, 4.13 needs .rsa files, not .ecjvm policy edits, add runtime permission getonv.mykey to permissions.policy. Need help? Drop a comment. Like and subscribe for more Niagara framework hacks, lowrider tech analogies, and Wonderland style troubleshooting. Hashtag Niagara Framework, hashtag Tridium, hashtag Yubiki, hashtag Building Automation, hashtag Java Security, hashtag JJDaBoss, hashtag Tech Tutorial, hashtag Edge Computing. Alice's Big Download Adventure in Niagara Land, with JJDaBoss, the 4 Chicas, and one very confused white rabbit. Once upon a time in a world filled with blinking lights, upside down folders, and curiously talking routers, little Alice stumbled into Niagara Land. She was just trying to get a download, just a simple Niagara 4.14 U2 zip file. But oh no, this wasn't just clicking a button. This was an adventure. Alice had barely stepped into the Tridium tea forest when she tripped over a lowrider Impala with spinning chrome carrots. Behind the wheel? None other than JJDaBoss, wearing a hat made of circuit boards and a steering wheel that muttered Java errors. "Hop in, sugar," he hollered. "We got creds to fix and signatures to validate before the Queen of Controls pulls the plug." The airbag whooshed. The engine growled. The dashboard blinked error, invalid signature. The 4 Chicas were buckled in and ready to roll. Katrina the permission rabbit, front left seat, Katrina waved a giant golden key. "You need to enter Tridium Software Castle, but your login ain't workin'? That's like tryin' to enter a tea party with no cookies. Silly fix, ask the mad distributor if you're still on the royal list. No list, no download. Poof. Funny tip, check if your credentials expired like old jam that screams when you open it." Lissette the log-finding cat, rear left seat. Lissette was pawing at the glove box, mumbling, "MMMHMM, classic not on the roster syndrome." She rolled her eyes like the Cheshire Cat with a packet of expired driver's licenses. Silly fix, reset your password or yell at the login mushroom. Sometimes it resets you back into a frog. Funny tip, don't show up with somebody else's pit pass. The Queen's guards know. Rosalee the boost fairy, front right seat. Rosalee was flapping her wings, made of Cat 5 cables. You tryin' to run EC signed modules on 4.13? That's like asking a hedgehog to fly. Silly fix, use RSA signed .jars for Niagara 4.13, sugar. EC keys don't mix with old tea. Funny tip, if you mismatch certs, your modules will just hiss like angry teapots. Karen Lee the folder queen, rear right seat. Karen was deep in the Impala's trunk, tossing META-INF folders into the wind like confetti. You can't just slap a .ec file into a .rsa party and expect no fireworks. Silly fix, check the META-INF. If you see a .ec in a 4.13 build, throw it into the Jabberwocky pit. Funny tip, always download your JACE image and workbench together or your tea kettle starts screaming. JJ's 5-step Wonderland fix-it list, get invited, you need Tridium Partner creds or you ain't gettin' in the castle. Reset your spell, password reset time. Or shout at the login caterpillar. Call a friendly gnome, reseller, they'll tell you if your business ID got gobbled. Look in the right castle room, Niagara Central ain't where downloads live. It's scrolls and scroll talk. Use the right puzzle pieces, don't mix certs, builds, or versions or you'll start a logic riot. Silly sayings from the Wonderland pit, Katrina, downloadin' without creds is like pourin' tea into a leaky boot. Lissette, you tryin' assign modules without matching certs? That's like playin' chess with a spoon. Rosalee, your supercharger won't spool if your cert's speakin' in Jabberwocky. Karen Lee, I swear, if I see another .ec in a 4.13 folder, I'm gluing the META-INF to the ceiling. And remember, Alice, you can't always rush through Wonderland. Sometimes you gotta slow down, sip your troubleshooting tea, and double-check your credentials with a white rabbit who's late for everything. So grab your Yubaiki, pet the folder cat, kiss the supercharger, and hold on. It's download time in Niagaraland. Want more crazy adventures and Java sorcery? Don't forget to follow the compressed air trail to our next pit stop. Hashtag Niagara in Wonderland, hashtag Yubaiki Tea Party, hashtag Tridium Downloads, hashtag JJDaBoss in Wonderland, hashtag Alice Gets Admin Rights. Next topic. SBA 500, The History of Smart Buildings Academy II. Listen up, pliers. JJDaBoss here to break down the wild ride of Smart Buildings Academy like we tuning a 64 Impala with compressed air supercharger, hydraulics. Buckle up, cause the four chicas are riding shotgun to make this easy. The ride, SBA's journey as a lowrider Impala. This ain't no stock setup. SBA is a high-performance beast with compressed air supercharger, equals Phil Zito's hustle, forces growth even when the market stalls, airbag suspension equals team and culture, keeps the ride smooth through bumps. Meet the four chicas, seat positions matter, Alice, the vision, driver seat, the brains, situation, started as a blog, now we hear 15,000 students deep. Mad Hatter, the pivots, back left seat, mix and biz models like T, situation, coveted specials. Workforce dev? Why not both? Cheshire Cat, the tech, dashboard, grinning with AI magic, situation, poof. Now your training talks back with AI, teehee. White Rabbit, the hustle, trunk, freaking out, situation, I'm late. Gotta scale to plural site status. The fix, how JJDaBoss would tune this Impala 1 Phase 1, blog-side hustle, 2012 to 2017, problem, Phil's corporate gig had a ceiling lower than a slammed Impala. Solution, wrote a blog, thanks to Mrs. Zito's genius. Podcast like a madman, 75 EPS in before it felt natural. Published a book, voice-to-text style grammar errors included. Boost, turned bonus videos into full courses. Boom, side income equals full income. 2 Phase 2, covered pivot, 2020, problem, job sites shut down, training demand dropped like a bad airbag. Solution, $10 covered special, help laid off techs upskill to survive. Workforce dev program, turned hotel clerks into BAS techs in 11 weeks. Skill assessments, 24,000 plus takers free like a test drive. 3 Phase 3, scaling up, 2021 now, problem, how do we go from $1 million to plural site status? Solution, hired instructors, way better than Phil's early DIY courses. Build AI chatbots, context-aware, like a pit crew coach. Expanded to OEM/owners, contractors pay recurring, individuals buy once. Key takeaways, JJ's final wisdom: start small, think big, blog-podcast-courses-empire. Pivot like a lowrider, Covet almost wrecked the game, SBA dropped the clutch and hydroed over it. Systemize everything, playbooks, AI, assessments equals scaling without stalling. Culture wins, hire slow, fire fast, let instructors shine. Ain't no biz smooth if the hydraulics, processes, leak. Now if you'll excuse me, I gotta bounce this Impala to the next tech call. Keep it clean, keep it mean, and for Wonderland's sake upskill your crew with SBA. Visualize, JJ leaning on an SBA painted Impala, Alice holding a skill assessment, the Hatter mixing biz models, and the White Rabbit hyperventilating over KPIs. P.S. If your training program's stuck, sacrifice a USB drive to the LMS gods and try again. Sometimes Wonderland just works like that. Keywords for search: SEO juice, hashtag Smart Buildings Academy, hashtag Building Automation, hashtag Philzito, hashtag Online Training, hashtag Workforce Development, hashtag AI Training, hashtag JJDaBoss, hashtag Lowrider Tech. Need a Wonderland style roadmap for your biz? Drop a comment. Absolutely. Here's your Smart Buildings Academy, SBA, story retold like a magical, first grade level Alice's adventures in Wonderland with wild lowrider chaos, funny Wonderland twists, and JJDaBoss and the four chicas on the scene to explain SBA's rise as if it were a bouncy, candy-painted Impala hopping through Wonderland, Alice and the lowrider learning machine, the tale of Smart Buildings Academy in Wonderland. Once upon a turbocharged tea party, sweet little Alice wandered through the foggy flowers of Logic Grove, looking for something to help the people of Wonderland learn about buildings that talk back. She was about to give up when for out popped a magical 64 lowrider Impala, shooting glitter and steam from its compressed air supercharger. Behind the wheel, JJDaBoss, wearing a crown made of Wi-Fi signals, and the four chicas ride in shotgun with skills, sass, and spark plugs. The ride: SBA equals a learning Impala. SBA wasn't just any old blog, it was a turbo beast built to teach all the creatures in Wonderland how to run their buildings like a racetrack. Ka supercharger equals Philzito's hustle, zoom zoom. Go go even when market's slow. Airbag suspension equals team and culture, soft over bumps, like marshmallow shocks. Meet the crew in the seats, Alice, Vision, in the driver's seat. It started with a lil blog, now we got 15,000 students and a trunk full of wisdom. Mad Hatter, pivots, back left seat covered. Job training? Why not both? Time to remix some biz tea. Cheshire Cat, the tech, dashboard hee hee. Now your courses talk back with magic AI voices. Poof. White Rabbit, hustle, trunk, a bit squished, I'm late. We gotta grow faster than Pluralsight. How JJ tuned this Wonderland whip, aka SBA history, phase 1, blog to side hustle, 2012 to 2017, problem: Philzito worked a stuffy job in a cube smaller than a teacup. Solution: wrote blogs cause Mrs. Zito said, you better. Started a podcast, episode 1 equals chaos, episode 75 equals boom, wrote a book, with typos and charm. Turned bonus videos into full-blown courses. Ka boost, side hustle became a turbo business. Phase 2, covered pivot, 2020, problem: training demand dropped like a Mad Hatter spoon in soup. Solution: $10 covered specials to help techs upskill. Built a workforce dev program, turned lost hotel clerks into bass wizards in 11 weeks, launched free skill assessments, 24,000 plus took M like free Wonderland candy. Phase 3, scaling to the sky, 2021, now, problem: how do we go from $1 million to big biz Wonderland like Pluralsight? Solution: hired instructors, way cooler than early DIY Phil, built AI chatbots, smart like a queen's butler, sold to OEMs, contractors, and curious caterpillars alike. JJ's final wisdom from Wonderland: start small, dream big, one blog, one podcast, then bam. Big biz. Pivot like a teacup on wheels. When COVID came, SBA didn't crash, they bounced. Systemize everything, courses, bots, assessments, all smooth like Cheshire for culture wins the cake, slow to hire, fast to fire, always let the stars shine. Picture this, JJ da boss leanin' on an SBA Impala painted with charts, dashboards, and login screens. Alice holdin' a skill assessment scroll, Hatter jugglin' business plans and teacups. Cheshire cat poppin' up from a training module with a grin. White rabbit frantically smacking a KPI pie chart. PS. If your training's busted, don't cry like Tweedledee, just toss a USB into the learning management system teapot and wish real hard. Sometimes Wonderland just works like that. Sugar. Keywords for search: Wonderland approved SEO, hashtag Smart Buildings Academy, hashtag Basin Wonderland, hashtag online upskill, hashtag JJDaBoss, hashtag workforce magic, hashtag Zito Tech, hashtag lowrider learning. Need a checklist that giggles or a roadmap drawn by the queen of charts? Drop a comment and we'll bounce you into the biz. Now rev that Impala and teach like a Wonderland legend. Next topic. Economizer fundamentals. Alright, now buckle up and slam that Impala down to ride height, cause JJ da Boss and the four chicas are about to wheelie y'all straight into the wild world of economizer fundamentals. This ain't no plain HVAC lecture, this here's a lowrider lesson with airbags, superchargers, and Wonderland chaos. Let's roll, baby. The ride. What's an economizer anyway? So picture this, we got a rooftop unit, RTU, chillin' up top the building like it's on VIP bottle service. Now imagine we can cool that building FO free just by bringing in some of that crispy outdoor air. That's what we call an economizer, basically like flippin' open a window with brains and sensors. Meet the Impala crew, economizer style. We ride in a fully built 64 Impala with compressed air supercharger, CA, equals that controller brain that decides when we free cool or hit the A/C. Hard airbag suspension equals that damper actuation system that keeps our ride level, modulates airflow just right. Thermostat equals the driver calendar for first or second stage cooling like a race flag drop. Now here come the four chicas, sitting tight in their assigned seats. Alice, outdoor air sensor, driver seat. She peep in the outdoor air, deciding, is it cool enough out here to save us some cash? If the answer's yes, she slam in that damper open and let in that breeze right in. Mad Hatter, mixed air sensor, front passenger seat, feet on the dash, he's sittin' sideways, watchin' that air blend like a tea party gone sideways. If the air gets too cold, he's hollerin', back it off, y'all. Gonna freeze the crew. Cheshire cat, actuator plus dampers, back left seat, smirkin' out the window. That sneaky joker's makin' the dampers dance, modulatin' outdoor and return air like he's DJin' a cooling rave. White rabbit, thermostat plus panic button, trunk, of course freakin' out, always yellin' I'm late. Bring on stage 2. He's got 2-stage cooling control, but he's twitchy about whether we use an outdoor air or flippin' to mechanical. Bless his anxious heart. How this lowrider HVAC system hustles. Step 1, first call for cooling. White rabbit hears that first stage call, he wakes up Alice. Alice checks the outdoor temp. If it's cooler than the preset, say, 60 degrees Fahrenheit, she tells Cheshire cat, let's dance. Cat opens the outdoor damper, closes the return, and bam, free cooling engaged. Step 2, mixed air gets too cold. Mad Hatter sips his tea and starts shouting, yo, it's chilly in here. He signals the controller to ease up. Cheshire starts closing things down just a smidge. No freezing on our watch. Step 3, cooling still not enough? White rabbit mashes the stage 2 button in the trunk, mechanical cooling fires up. The Impala's burnin' gas now, but only cause we need it. Types of economizer logic, aka controller styles: single dry bulb, Alice only checks outdoor temperature. If it's cool enough, you golden. Great for dry zones like Vegas, no humid air drama. Differential dry bulb, Alice and Mad Hatter compare outdoor vs return temps. Whoever's cooler wins. Like a cool off between wrappers, HVAC style. Single enthalpy, Alice got fancy, she uses temperature plus humidity. If it's humid, she ain't letting that sticky air in. Differential enthalpy, both Alice and the Hatter check temp plus humidity, and then they battle it out. Like a science fair inside the ductwork. Most efficient setup. Demand control ventilation, DCV, aka that CO2 hustle, we ain't bringin' in outside air for fun, we base it on how many folks inside breathin' heavy. The more CO2, the more air we bring. Less folks, less air equals less conditioning equals energy savings, like a turbo rebate. Variable frequency drives, VFDs, are fuel sippin' magic, slowin' down that blower fan motor saves more juice than iced tea on a July day. If we only need half the air, the VFD slows that fan motor down and saves big on electricity. What JJ would say in the pit, don't bring a fixed damper to a modulating fight. You better size that outdoor air hood like it's a NOS scoop on a pro mod. You ain't ride inefficient if your sensor's red like a busted speedo. Free coolin' is like free barbecue, don't miss it when it's there. DCV. That's like GPS for airflow, ain't no point driving blind. Key takeaways from JJ and the Chicas: Alice checks the air, makes the call. Mad Hatter keeps temps comfy with SAS and sensors. Cheshire Cat flips dampers like switches on a lowrider console. White Rabbit's the panic king, but he gets the job done. And the whole system saves green on bills and planet Earth. Now go on and take this Impala knowledge out for a spin, pliers. And remember, when in doubt, check yo sensors before you start complainin' to the thermostat. Wonderland ain't built in a day, but you can economize it. JJ Dub Boss, out catch me rollin' slow past the mechanical room, hydraulics bumpin', economizer tuned to B-curve, the 4 Chicas holdin' clipboards, manuals, and CO2 sniffers. Want visuals or a printable version with diagrams of the Impala as an HVAC system? Just say the word. Alice's Economizer Wonderland, a story of cool air, wild tea parties, and lowriders with logic, told in full Wonderland chaos, humor, and first-grade adventure style. Once upon a squiggly swirly day, in a land where teapots could fly and flowers giggled when you sneezed, Alice fell through a trapdoor in the rooftop HVAC unit and landed in a magical, bouncy, lowrider Impala with 4 wheels full of giggles and compressed air. Boing! Went the suspension. Whoosh! Went the supercharger. And went Alice as the Impala bounced straight into Economizer Wonderland. What in the world is an economizer? Alice blinked. Is it a talking bunny? A sandwich? A magical sandwich-eating bunny? No, sugar pie, shouted a voice. It's free cooling. Like leaving the fridge door open, but on purpose and with science. There, behind the glittery steering wheel, was JJ Dub Boss, wearing a crown made of dampers and HVAC wiring. And guess what? The 4 Chicas of Wonderland were riding shotgun, each one smarter and louder than a mad tea kettle with a loose lid. Meet the Impala crew, Wonderland HVAC edition. This wasn't just a car. No sir. This was the '64 magical economizer Impala, with parts powered by logic, tea, and curiosity. Compressed air supercharger, CA, equals the brain boss controller making all the air decisions like a tea party referee. Airbag suspension equals keeps the ride smooth and the dampers dancing like flamingos on roller skates. Thermostat equals calls for cool air like a referee blowing a kazoo at a frog race. Inside the Impala, the Chicas take over. Alice, outdoor air sensor, in the driver's seat, wearing tea goggles. Is it cool outside today? She asked. Sniff sniff. Yes. Let the free breeze in. She floored the damper pedal. Mad Hatter, mixed air sensor, front seat, sitting backwards with a spoon on his head. Too cold. Too cold, he shouted mid-sip. No ice cubes in my tea, thank you. He turned the knobs wildly. Cheshire Cat, actuator plus dampers, back seat, upside down, giggling like a leaky balloon. Oh, I love to twist the dampers like a circus snake, he purred. Flip-flop open. Slam close return. Swivel the swirl knobs. White Rabbit, thermostat plus panic button, trapped in the trunk with a stopwatch and 5 clipboards. Oh dear. We're late for stage 2, he yelled while bouncing like a marshmallow in a microwave. He pressed the turbo cool button with a squeal. The Adventures of the Economizer Crew. Step 1, first call for cooling. White Rabbit yells, cool me now. Alice peeks outside. It's 60 degrees and fabulous. Cheshire Cat slides the outdoor damper open with a giggle snort. Boom. Free cooling floods the cabin like a popsicle explosion. Step 2, it gets too chilly. Mad Hatter flings a muffin at the controller. Turn it down, dingbat. My socks are shiverin'. Cheshire nuzzles the return air damper and gives it a gentle, courteous close. Air balance restored. Step 3, still not cool enough. White Rabbit presses every button in the trunk. Stage 2. Bring the A/C army. Now the Impala's engine revs, mechanical cooling kicks in, and the whole system hums like a bass-thumpin' teacup disco. Controller styles, as explained by screaming Wonderland creatures, single dry bulb. Alice just checks the temp. If it's cool, she says yum, free air, and opens up the breeze gates. Differential dry bulb. Alice and Mad Hatter argue. Alice, outside is better. Hatter, inside is warmer. They dance fight. Whoever's cooler wins. Single enthalpy. Alice gets fancy. She checks temperature and humidity. It's sticky outside. No thank you. Keep the windows shut, darling. Differential enthalpy. Mad Hatter brings lab equipment to the dashboard. Now they both check temps and humidity, and they throw pies if the numbers are wrong. DCV equals demand control ventilation, aka. The CO2 sniffers, the March hare hops in yelling, too many people breathin' in here. Sensors detect it. System says, uh-oh, bring in more air. When folks leave, the fans slow down like sleepy hedgehogs. Energy savings activated. Variable frequency drives, VFDs, equals speedy fans with brains. Big fan in the back says, I can run fast, but I can also chill and groove, yeah no. The system slows the fan down when no one's dancing. Saves more juice than a pineapple punch bowl. What JJ says from the pit of logic: don't bring a fixed damper to a modulating tea party. If your sensor's busted, you ain't gettin' no biscuits. Free air? That's like free cake, don't ignore it. DCV? That's how you sniff your way to success. An economizer without Alice? That's just a loud box blowin' nonsense. Final lessons from the Wonderland ride. Alice checks the breeze and makes the call. Mad Hatter keeps the tea from freezing. Cheshire Cat flips dampers like a DJ. White Rabbit freaks out but gets the job done anyway, and JJ's Impala saves gold coins, tea, and energy. And that's how Wonderland cooled itself down, with an Impala, a dash of madness, and a whole lot of sensors. The end. Or is it just the beginning? If you'd like diagrams, stickers, or a CO2 sensing teacup, just say the word, darling. Next topic. This stumps most electricians, can you solve it? JJ Da Boss presents, the E-Stop Standoff, Wonderland style, starring the 4 chicas in the airbagged compressed air supercharger Impala, aka. How to outthink a BMS curveball without ripping wires or losing your mind. Now listen here, sugar, what I'm about to drop on y'all stumps 9 out of 10 electricians harder than a possum in a locked chicken coop. But not us. Nah. We ride in low and thinkin' high in this here 64 compressed air supercharger Impala with the 4 chicas of Field Logic ride-in shotgun. So buckle up, air up them bags, spool that compressed air supercharger, and let's ride. Scene set, Wonderland job site, Final commissioning day, JJ da boss rolls up into the BMS school plant room in his Impala, airbags dumped, controller in hand, sunglasses on at night. Ready to hand off the project like a boss. But bam! The client shows up last minute, arms waving like a flag on race day. JJ. We need an extra emergency stop button in the reception area now. This ain't no small thing, folks. All the designs done. Schematics sealed. Wires pulled. Panels locked tighter than the Mad Hatter's tea chest. But you think JJ gonna panic? Nah. He flips a switch, leans out the window, and hollers, "Chicas! Fire up the system. Let's troubleshoot with style." Breaking it down with the 4 chicas, let me introduce y'all to the compressed air crew and exactly where they sit in the ride. Chica 1, Alice the sensor queen, front passenger seat, she's the logic girl. Sensor inputs, overrides, and what's hot or not. She sees the circuit, the sequence, the thermal links, and stop logic. JJ, this gas detection loop's a normally closed gang. If anything opens, boom, we shut gas, flip fault relays, and light up the alarms. Chica 2, Mad Hatter the wiring whisperer, back right seat, she knows every cable run like it's a biscuit trail in the forest. Hates ripping walls and repulling. We ain't touching that field cabling. That's hours of chasing ghosts and drill dust. We need to be smart, not sweaty. Chica 3, White Rabbit time-ticking troubleshooter, trunk, jammed next to the CO2 sensor, always panicked, always check-in time, always yellin' 'bout commissioning deadlines. We're out of time. The headmaster's bringin' donuts at 4. We gotta solve this now. Chica 4, Cheshire Cat relay riddler, back left seat, upside down on the control panel, she's all about relays, logic inputs, bypasses, and magic tricks that don't touch the field. Why rip wires when we got relays and controllers with logic brains? The problem, one stop exists. Customer wants another. Existing stop equals in plant room, new stop needed equals in reception, far across the field like a rabbit in a maze rules, no pullin' new wiring back to the field loop, don't mess up the existing safety loop, make it fast, cheap, clean, and reliable. The solution, JJ style, use relay logic with input monitoring. We ain't rewiring the Impala just to add a cup holder, baby. Here's how JJ do it. Don't add the new e-stop to the field circuit already closed loop with thermal links and one stop. Tampering with that is like poppin' airbags mid-wheelie. Just don't. Wire the new e-stop separately to a free input on the controller. Use the IQ241 spare input channel. Run cable from reception stop straight to that free input. Program logic inside the controller. Tell the logic, if reception stop equals open, then trip a virtual fault trigger, same gas shut off output, fire the same relays, gas fault / generic fault / shutdown outputs, all inside that smart controller brain. Boom. Now both buttons do the same thing. But you didn't touch the original safety loop. JJ's airbagged analogy time. This whole circuit's like our compressed air supercharger. That gas loop, it's the intake manifold, it's gotta stay sealed, or you lose all pressure. Adding another stop the wrong way? That's like punching a hole in the boost pipe. But add a new input to a separate control valve. Now you're just flipping a switch on the dash. More control, no leaks. Bonus tips from the Chicas. Alice, label that new input clear so the next tech don't think it's just an extra light switch. Mad Hatter, map your logic to reflect existing shutdown behavior 100%, no shortcuts. White Rabbit, document it. Update your as-builts before the donuts arrive. Cheshire Cat, put a bypass override in the HMI for testing. I love HMI buttons. Final breakdown, do this rightward arrow, use spare input on controller write logic to mirror plant room stop, keep original loop intact, do all this without tearing up a single wall or conduit, don't do this rightward arrow parallel that new stop into the field circuit, mess with thermal links, rewire the plant room like a raccoon in a breaker box, and that's how JJ Da Boss plus the 4 chicas handle the e-stop standoff. So next time you're on site, in the Impala with air dumped and time ticking, don't panic. Think like JJ. Ride with the chicas. Work smarter, not louder. Wanna see the wiring diagram or get the controller logic block breakdown in full Wonderland format? Say the word, baby, we'll drop it faster than a 3.70s hot rod off the line. Alice and the Emergency Button of Madness, a Wonderland tale of buttons, BMS, and boom boom logic rewritten in first grade style Wonderland chaos, with wild characters, extra giggles, and no wire ripping required. Once upon a twisty-turny Tuesday in the land of Wonderland building automation, a sparkly blue Impala with airbags dumped to the floor zoomed right into the Queen's school boiler room. Poof. The doors flew open and out popped JJ Da Boss, his hat tilted sideways and his sunglasses darker than a Jabberwocky's shadow. All right now, we done built this boiler system tighter than the Queen's cookie jar. Time to hand it off. But oh no. The white rabbit comes flying in, his tail on fire and a clipboard in his hand. Stop! 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 He screamed, tripping over a tea kettle. We forgot a thingy. The Queen wants an extra emergency stop button in the reception room. She says it's an order or off with our heads. JJ Da Boss didn't flinch. He just leaned out the Impala and hollered, chicas. Fire up the system. Let's troubleshoot, Wonderland style. Meet the 4 chicas of the magical Impala inside this turbo puffin, logic hummin' hot rod sat the 4 chicas of field logic, each in their own magical seat with teacups and trouble. Alice, the sensor queen, front seat, munching gumdrops, Alice said, peeking through her magnifying glass. This whole gas safety thing is like a secret door, it stays closed. But if anyone opens it, boom. Gas off. Alarms on. Panic everywhere. We mustn't mess that up. Mad Hatter, the wiring whisperer, backseat, tying wires into bogies, we are not running new wires through the Queen's rose garden, she said. That's how you get zapped and eaten by hedgehogs. We need smart, sneaky logic, not sweaty wire chases. White Rabbit, the screaming scheduler, trunk, tangled in coat tubes, we're late. The donuts come at 4. If we don't fix this now, the Queen will feed us to the flamingos. Cheshire Cat, the relay riddler, floating upside down above the dashboard, with a grin as wide as the boiler room, she whispered, let's not touch the real wires, darling. Let's make a new one, imaginary style. The button problem, e-stop emergency madness. The school already had a super-duper gas shut-off emergency button inside the boiler room. But the Queen wanted another one in the front office, far, far away past mushroom patches and talking doors. But wait. Rules. No tearing up walls, no touching the old safety loop, no getting eaten by field mice, must be fast, cheap, and full of brilliance. The fix, wonder logic and fake wires that work. JJ Da Boss put on his golden thinking crown and said, we ain't rewiring the Impala just to add a teacup holder, baby. We gonna do this the Wonderland way. Step 1, do not touch the first button loop. That thing's a magical loop, already perfect. Break it, and it's like unbuckling the Queen's corset, everything flies apart. Step 2, add new e-stop button to the controller's magic input slot. The Impala has a secret input slot, just sit in there like an empty cookie plate. Plug the new button in there, boop, straight from the reception room. Step 3, program the Wonderland logic. Now tell the magical controller, if reception button goes open, then, shut off the gas. Flip the faulty relays. Sound the alarms. Send the Queen a text. All without touching the first button's magic spaghetti. Yay. JJ's supercharged analogy time. Imagine the safety circuit is like the Impala's compressed air supercharger. That loop equals the sealed turbo pipe poke it wrong equals you blow the boost, and the car farts but add a shiny new dashboard switch equals power, style, and no leaks. Tips from the Chicas Alice, label that new button. Or someone will press it thinking it's for cookies. Mad Hatter, make the logic match the old button perfectly, no silly shortcuts. White Rabbit, update the as-builts before the donuts get here. Cheshire Cat, add a fancy on-screen button too. Because I like buttons. Teehee. Do's and don'ts from Wonderland. Do use a free input. Do copy the shutdown logic. Do keep that safety loop sealed tighter than a turtle's turtleneck. Do look fabulous while doing it. Don't run new wires through Wonderland. Don't mess up thermal links. Don't act like Tweedledee with a drill. And that's how JJ the Boss plus the Chica saved the day in Wonderland. So next time you're stuck in a teapot of trouble, don't pull out your screwdriver and cry. Think like JJ. Ride low. Logic high. And trust the magical madness. Want the controller block drawing or a full-on Wonderland wiring scroll? Just say the word, Sugarplum will unroll it faster than Alice falls down a logic rabbit hole. The end. Or is it?